Thank you, Waziri Deborah, Governor Badilisha of Nyandarua County, and of course the representatives from Machakos and Nairobi. The Principal Secretary is present, and since we have been able to see Dr. Ngeno, let me also acknowledge that we have PS Korir with us, responsible for the water side of it. Members of boards and management present, stakeholders, partners, beneficiary communities, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I was wondering why we were being told not to clap. And for a moment I was wondering, is NEMA trying to control noise pollution or regulate noise pollution? Well, okay. What will politicians thrive on? Because politicians thrive on... we like claps. But anyway, thank you for your message. So it gives me a great pleasure to join you here today and preside over the launch of the Kenya Green Climate Fund program, which focuses on enhancing community resilience and water security in the Upper Athi River catchment area of Kenya. The overarching objective of this project is to strengthen the resilience of communities to climate change and increase water security in the Upper Athi River catchment area, covering Kiambu, Machakos, Nairobi, and Nyandarua counties. This is an expansive ecosystem that supports the livelihoods of millions of Kenyans, from farmers and pastoralists to industries and households. The project brings powerful collaboration between the Green Climate Fund and the National Environment Management Authority, which is the accredited entity, while the Water Resource Authority and Kenya Meteorological Department are the implementing agencies. The 4 beneficiary counties undertake the operations and maintenance of the assets developed by the project to ensure sustainability and enable continued benefits to the target communities. This initiative is timely and critically important to support the beneficiary communities to respond to the impact of climate change. It will enhance the strategic measures that the government has taken to address water pollution, including water quality monitoring and robust enforcement action against individuals and institutions polluting the catchment. Besides enhancing community and environmental health, it further demonstrates Kenya's firm commitment to strengthen climate resilience in response to the immense pressure on our water systems from climate-induced shocks, while safeguarding water resources for the present and future generations. Aligned with our nationally determined contribution under the Paris Agreement, our national climate change action plans, and our broader national development agenda, this project enhances our resolve to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 32% by 2032, and scaling this further to a more ambitious target of 35% by 2035, as the PS did indicate. Accelerated decarbonization of key sectors, including energy, transport, agriculture, and waste management, are actionable commitments that integrate adaptation, mitigation, and sustainable development. They reinforce our determination to include climate action into economic planning and sectoral development. These actions define Kenya's ambition and action to build a prosperous future for our people, anchored on the climate initiatives contained in our fourth medium-term plan, 2023 to 2027. These include accelerating climate action, strengthening carbon markets, and promoting environmental restoration through the implementation of the Climate Change Act of 2016, which was amended in 2023. Environmental restoration is an integral part of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which focuses on enhancing carbon sinks through forests and wetlands restoration and protection. We are promoting nature-based solutions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions through strategic plans such as growing 15 billion trees to increase Kenya's tree cover to over 30% by 2032 and restoring 5.1 million hectares of degraded land. Our engagement here will support the government strategy by contributing directly to economic transformation, job creation, and sustainable livelihoods. By strengthening climate-resilient water infrastructure and improving water resource management, we are supporting farmers, empowering women, creating opportunities for youth to restore their landscapes, reduce their vulnerability, and build resilient communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity on behalf of the government and people of Kenya to appreciate the Green Climate Fund for your confidence in Kenya and partnering with the agencies involved in this project. I encourage other development partners to join us in this transformative journey to help expand climate adaptation across all counties in Kenya. As we implement this project, we must ensure that we leave no one behind. Inclusion, gender equality, and youth participation are not optional. Women and young people are at the front line of climate impact and are also powerful agents of change. This project must empower them meaningfully and equitably. Let me conclude by urging NEMA to ensure transparency and accountability in the management of the funds made available for this project. The highest standards of environmental and social integrity must guide every stage of its implementation. To you, governors, you have a huge responsibility to fully support the implementation of this project, to enable your people to reap its full economic and social benefits. Finally, I call upon communities to actively participate, take ownership, and safeguard the infrastructure and natural resources provided. Together, let us deepen our collective solidarity and shared responsibility in confronting the global climate crisis to enhance shared prosperity for all. Before I formally declare the launch of the program, let me just pick 2 or 3 points. One, the other day, the President of the Republic of Kenya led us in signing a cooperation agreement between the county government of Nairobi and the national government. Why do I bring this up? In that cooperation agreement, the National Executive is going to put forward a package of about 80 billion shillings over a period of time to target specific interventions in the county of Nairobi and the environments and the impact of other counties beyond that. It is a cooperation agreement. cooperation and collaboration. What we are talking about here today is about collaboration and cooperation. It is not about transfer of responsibilities and functions. We, as Kenyans, are taking too much time in all sorts of litigations and time-consuming exercises for completely different objectives. The law is very clear. It says we have to collaborate. They're devolved functions, but we have to work together. We are becoming actually ridiculous if we see an opportunity for litigation everywhere. To the extent that actually it's as if there's a hallucination in this undertaking. Tell me how the national government is supposed to work with county governments if it is not through collaboration and cooperation, which is the other way that we can work together. Even when we talk about sharing national revenue as provided for in the Constitution, and you have the Commission for Revenue Allocation and all that, there's dialogue that takes place, there's cooperation, so that national government can collect the national revenues, and then after collecting the national revenues, through dialogue, through parliament, through the institutions, there's a formula that it is arrived at, and then it is shared revenue. The thread in all this is collaboration and cooperation. It cannot be otherwise. So I thought I just want to emphasize that to really drive home the message that what is the alternative to collaboration and cooperation? What is the alternative? It will be antagonism. So why are we fighting each other when we say we want to enter into a cooperation and collaboration arrangement to accelerate programs? A very strange contradiction. Two, we are running behind. As a country, the comparative advantage that we have held for some time is waning, it's declining. While we engage in this posturing, our neighbors are moving forward. They are moving forward. And I took time to just give an example, which I must repeat here. Across here, there's the Jomo Kenyatta Airport, which was built over 30 years ago. there was similar noise. People arguing about it. But I want to tell you this, and you people, I know you trouble. Addis Ababa has got a superior airport. And remember, Zimbabwe has been suffering from sanctions. Harare Airport is today superior to Jomo Kenyatta Airport. Go to Rwanda, Kigali. Go to Luanda in Angola. Go to Zambia today at the airport. Go to Ghana's Accra Airport. Go and see what is happening to the Entebbe Airport and the expansion of Entebbe Airport. As we continue to bask in past glory, our neighbors are moving on. And our comparative advantage is diminishing. And if we are going to call ourselves the hub, unless we change our attitude as nationals of this country, our hub status may vanish. And I'm not giving you examples beyond the continent. I'm giving you examples on the continent, deliberately. They are moving. They are not wasting time. On the issue of garbage collection, we equally have lost time. Management of waste, we have lost time. We were with the president in Ngomongo area a few days ago, and in one of the shots he was standing there, and behind him one might think it was a mountain. Actually, it was not. It was garbage. So the question is, as much as it was garbage, is it waste or is it gold? Is it waste or is it gold? But it is garbage. So, we need to look at this critically. When I was in local government, I led a delegation to France, and I'm sure some of you may be familiar with it. Not too far from the outskirts of Paris, there was a garbage heap, just the way we are seeing in our Dandora. But if you go there today, and through Foreign Affairs, we are ready to facilitate appointments and coordination so that experts from your various areas can go. What was garbage has been turned into a perfect green environment where animals are grazing on top of the place. It's completely green. And the waste management, there is a process that has been done, and the young people are processing that garbage. Where it is supposed to be recycled, it's done, and so forth. But the place is a completely green place, the way we are looking at the national park here. and below, all the garbage has been processed. It's happening. It can be done without losing opportunity for the young people, but at the same time creating a better environment for everybody. Those of you who have been to Tokyo, you will find that 40% of the energy generated in Tokyo city is from garbage. 40% of their power is generated from garbage, which is then processed, and the byproducts, you're making road construction material, building construction material, and you would not even know that inside there's a garbage processing taking place. So we have a challenge, and we are running behind. I thought that unless we talk to some of these things and we aggressively engage in a campaign, we shall always settle for mediocrity and think it is the norm and think it's the way of life and think it's the best thing, but it is not true. Where I was born, there's a phrase, and I'm sure you have it too, is that if you don't visit your neighbors, you may think your mom is the best cook. Until you eat ugali ya mama mwingine hapo, ndio unajua ala, kumbe kuna wengine pia wanajua haya maneno. So the message here is this: let us break away from assuming that all is well. It is not. And it takes a lot of courage and tough decisions to get us to move away from the comfort zone. That is why I was talking about the noise pollution ya wanasiasa ya makofi. Because politicians are taking too long, in my view, to distinguish between being popular and populism. Populism is not synonymous with being popular. Populism ni hile ya kufikiri kwamba ukienda pahali, you are struggling to see watu wakupigie makofi, wapige shangwe, utoke hapa uone, ukienda kule unaambia una just jacket kama mwanasiasa, unasema unaona vile watu walinipatia makofi, walinipigia makofi, nilipata shangwe. And you walk away thinking that you have actually delivered to the public. But in reality, you have done zero. So let us not engage in populism. Let us do what is right. Let us focus in helping Kenyans to do and get to what is right. We have no time. Other nations are moving. They are moving. If you went to Morocco today, you'll be shocked what has happened to that country. It is something else. Today, I see people throwing jabs at the president's pronouncement that we should target Singapore as a benchmark. And we were making fun of it. But let me tell you, when I was Minister for Finance, I actually led a delegation of Kenyans from the port of Mombasa. At that time, there was the MD Mukala and others. We went to Singapore on a mission to invite Singapore to work with us on how to improve the port of Mombasa to make it a world-class port, because Singapore has excelled in matters of logistics around the port. We came back with the Singaporeans, we signed the MOUs. They came to the port of Mombasa. After a while, the people who like confusion, and you know, Shakespeare once said that though it be madness, there's method in it. You know, there are others who like this chaos because that's how they thrive. At the port or wherever, they like it to be confused. So that happened, there's method in it. It may look like madness, but there's method in it. Because the more you become efficient, the more they start realizing their advantage is going. They will not be able to thrive in a state of efficiency. So these fellows, the Kenyans at that time who were players at the port, they started sabotaging the operations and the cooperation agreement. We resisted for a while as government, and then these guys, these cartels, they actually went beyond that. They now started threatening the consultants who are working with Kenya directly. Pahali wanaishi, wanapata threats, either stuck on the... So basically, they hounded the Singaporeans out of town. Can you imagine if we had worked closely and collaborated with Singapore 30 years ago, where would the port of Mombasa be today in terms of logistics and efficiency? We chased them away. So the same resistance is what you are seeing when the president says, let us target and become like Singapore. The reincarnated Mandarins are now saying, hiyo story ya Singapore haiwezekani. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it can be done. That is why you are experts here telling us how to manage and change the environment. And make sure that when you overfly Nairobi River tomorrow, you'll not see black and then see green as you enter Machakos. We need to see clean water. And these are the programs that are part of the cooperation agreement that the government of Kenya is putting in place to work with the county governments. And we have to work together. We must move away from our comfort zone. We cannot assume that we shall have that comparative advantage forever. No way. We have to fight for it. We have to build it. We have to work on it. We have to allocate resources towards it. And we have to apply our intellect towards that objective. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was speaking because I thought it's important to convey this message. And Albert Einstein once said he would not want to engage in a conflict with an unarmed person. An unarmed person in this context was from the perspective of ignorance. If we don't educate our people and arm them with the necessary intellect, arm them with the necessary exposure and education, we shall then be engaging in arguments and conflict with people who are not armed. Let us help through public education and participation to arm our people appropriately so that we can engage appropriately and we can grow our country rapidly and retain or regain our comparative advantage. That is my plea to Kenyans, not just to you in the room, but to Kenyans as a whole, that we really must move. So it is now my pleasure to declare the Kenya Green Climate Fund project titled Enhancing Community Resilience and Water Security in the Upper Athi River Catchment Area, Kenya, officially launched. God bless Kenya, and thank you all.